All right, we're going to go ahead and jump right in because we've got a lot to do, a lot of places to go. We are in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and we kind of finished up our what is love, right? What's love got to do with it? Everything, right? And it's in the middle of these spiritual gift conversations where they've been arguing over who's got the greater gift. And the showier gifts, like speaking in tongues, kind of get elevated above all. And so he kind of drops a little bit of a bomb. You can have all these great gifts and all these great things going to be happening, but if you have not love, pointless, useless. And he also calls love the greater gift. So to desire the greater gift, right? And to desire love. And then there's a little section right at the end of this love section that is kind of out of nowhere, right? He's not really leading up to it, and it's kind of highly debated in the scholarly realm of what is being talked about. So I'm going to read verses 8 through 13 of 1 Corinthians 13. Actually, someone else read it. We'll pass the mics. Who wants to read? You want to read? Yeah, let's put a mic over here. Rick, you want to hold the mic? 1 Corinthians 13, 8 through 13.
Starting with verse 8.
Yep.
Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love.
Okay, so what does he say about these three gifts in particular? All right, so they are going away. Anything else?
When the perfect comes, the partial will pass away.
So he calls them partial. All right, so for us to understand what is the perfect, we have to get a good grasp on what is he talking about with them going away, and what does he mean by them being partial. So, first, I'll lay it on the floor. What do tongues, prophecy, and knowledge represent? Okay, so we got gifts. Miraculous gifts. Okay. Now, how many gifts has he named in 1 Corinthians 12? I mean, he's named more than these three, has he not? So what is the special emphasis on tongues, prophecy, and knowledge that, like, healing, doesn't really, come into play here? Even gift of faith doesn't really come into play here, and some of the other gifts. What do these three have in common? Okay, yeah. So we're looking at Revelation. Not the book of Revelation, the revelation of God's Word. So, be a need for revelation, or the way in which God's Word is being revealed.
Well, that's why the greatest is love, because that's the only thing that will follow us to heaven. We won't need faith and all the other things, because we'll know everything. We'll be there.
Okay, so let's stop and let's talk about that just for a second, because we really have only three major options of what the perfect represents. Okay? The perfect, now, we're going to use Jesus as in the second coming of Christ. Okay, where Jesus comes back again, and then we are in heaven, and so either he's the perfect, so part of it is he's perfect, but he also makes us perfect, which also makes our knowledge what? Perfect, okay? So there's one option, all right? So let's come back here for a second. All right, so are we saying then, and this is the kind of question, are we always going to have these continue, tongues, prophecy, and knowledge then, right, until the second coming? If it's Jesus, if Jesus is the perfect, then Paul